Okay, so in the center of the card, we have the Page of Discs, okay? So once again, I feel like this is a message coming in. It could be a younger energy. Pentacles are earth signs, Taurus, you're an earth sign, so Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. But they are still, once again, bringing you a message regarding earthly comforts. So let's just pull a clarifier on that one just to see what that is all about, because it could be you, but I feel like, you're sitting here, down here in the health area of the King of Discs, so that's definitely your card. Okay, King of Swords, King of Wands. So, okay, there we go. It was just person after person after person. So we have the Page of Discs, and then I pulled the King of Swords, the King of Wands in reverse, and then the Seven of Wands reverse. So this is a battle between, almost, I feel like it's like a almost like a lover's quarrel in a way, that this is you, Page of Discs, and it feels like two people are kind of vying for your attention, so it could be two people who are interested in a relationship with you, but it could be family too. It could be your parents, your mom and dad, it could be siblings, it could be co-workers too. But we have one sign that is the King of Wands in reverse, okay, and then the King of Swords upright. And so the King of Wands is a fire energy, so that's going to be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And then we have the King of Swords, which is an air energy, and so that's Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. And they're vying for your attention, okay? And you're kind of like, looking out for your best interest in this earthly realm. So, just because the King of Swords is upright, and so they're in their higher vibration, I would definitely go with the air sign. But of course, the King of Wands might be acting this way because they feel like they're going to lose you. And so, they might be acting out of ordinary because they're just trying to get your attention. And I feel like they might be fighting over you not for the right causes, or one of them might not be, just because they want to control the situation, while the other one is actually interested in your well-being and being around you and loving you for who you are. In the love area, we do have the Fool reversed, the Four of Discs reversed, and the Eight of Wands reversed. And reversal cards don't necessarily always mean negative. It can just be amplifying certain situations, or softening the blow. So when we have the Fool reverse, it's really not seeing the situation clearly. Okay, it's viewing it with rose-colored glasses and wanting to believe the positive, even though there's something there that might be nagging you, like a hunch saying something's not right. And the Four of Discs is also kind of warning of that, because this is like the saving money, being not hoarding, but just being, well, kind of like a miser in a way, but also kind of looking out for your best interest in the long haul. And then here, when we have it reversed, it's understanding that's what you should be doing, but not necessarily doing it, because you have a lot of decisions, you have a lot of choices to have fun and play and enjoy yourself. So like live and let live, you'll sleep when you're dead kind of mentality of like, let's party for now and not worry about tomorrow. And so this situation could be a little bit detrimental to your well-being in the future. Okay, right now it might be really, really fun and interesting, and maybe that's where the King of Wands is coming in, because they're super fun and you totally want to hang out with them, but then the next day your head hurts and you ask yourself, what have you done? Okay, so just make sure that you're keeping a very clear perspective about who and what you are dealing with in the situation of love. And if you are settled down with somebody, if you're with somebody, for the long haul, then they might just be ready to go have so much fun. Or maybe it's you who just wants to go and finally just let loose. And I think that's great. I think you should, but just make sure that you understand, the repercussions of your actions, and that doesn't throw you for a loop. So if the next day seems too much of a debt to pay, then you might want to rethink what you're doing. And let's go into career. So we have the Ten of Wands, then we have the Queen of Swords, and we have Strength. Okay, so with this one, the Ten of Wands and the Queen of Swords and Strength, let's see here. So you're working your hiney off, and I feel like this is definitely a boss or a coworker. Well, it could be a coworker, but I feel like it's supervisor energy. And they're just kind of working you like a dog, saying, we need to get this done. This is end of year information. You need to stay late, work harder, get more done, come in early. And so you are working, and it's, you're persevering, it's like you are pushing through, you're putting your head down and working your hiney off. And I do feel like you'll absolutely gain from this, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it to you, because when we have the Ten of Wands, it's working so hard and finally getting to the goal you want, but then recognizing, is that all you wanted, or did you want something completely different, and that with working so hard and gaining what you your goal, how much more time and energy you're going to have to put in to maintain it. And I think to a point, I think you already knew that, because we have the Strength card and you are ready for it. Yeah. So you are ready. You have gotten to your goal. This is what you have wanted, or you can finally see part of your goal in sight, and you're just pushing through. Yeah, Taurus, you're just like, nope, I'm not going to give up now. I'm too close. And the Queen of Swords might be like pushing you even harder and wanting more out of you. And I don't see this necessarily as a negative thing, because you're coming out smelling like roses, and it might actually help you out, because then you can see how far you can go in that situation. So, all right, then up here we have finances. So we have the Four of Swords reversed, we have Justice reversed, and then we have the Eight of Discs. Okay. I'm sorry, my computer just did something funny, so I'm going to click it off real quick. There we go. Hopefully that didn't affect you guys. So the Four of Swords reversed, Justice reversed, Eight of Discs. So I think this is what this, looking at it from a financial aspect, is you got to put a little bit more work in. Like, you don't have all the facts right now. If you have some legality, some paperwork that you need to look at, make sure that you look through it like with a fine-tooth comb. Call on somebody you respect, somebody who is kind of like a teacher to you, to look over it. This is not the time to slack, because things will slide through the cracks. Okay. The Four of Swords in reverse here, usually this is saying that you need time to rest and recuperate. And when it's reversed, it can be two things. It can be you are at the end of your rope and you need to rest right now. Okay. And that it's just like things are you've been working so hard, you're making mistakes. Okay. So you need to take care of yourself so that you can be at your best. Or it can be, this is not the time to sleep. This is not the time to take a break. You need to push through. And in this regard, I think that's, for most people, that's what it's going to be. Okay. We have the Eight of Discs, the Apprentice card here. And so it's saying you need to keep working and fine-tuning what you know, so that you can get the outcome that you want. Because as of right now, with the knowledge that you have and the education that you have, it's just you still have a little bit more to learn before you fulfill where you want to go. Okay? And so that could also be why the Queen of Swords is reversed here, is she recognizes that you need to work a little bit more to get what you want. And so she might seem like a slave driver, and she might seem just like the coldest, like, ice queen you've ever met, or ice king. But it's with the intention of making you stronger. Okay? And then here we have in health the King of Discs, which I absolutely think is you. And then we have the Six of Swords reversed. And then we have the Ten of Discs. Yay! Upright. Okay? So with all of this shift in this energy of working your butt off, woo, Taurus, get it. Wow. Health-wise, you're sitting awesome, you know. I think the biggest thing is that you're going to want to push yourself more. You have a goal, a health goal, a physical, spiritual, mental goal for yourself, and it's just being delayed, but it's still getting there, and it's giving you time by not focusing 100% on that, to just be happy in where you are, okay, and to kind of revel in the fact that you are healthy and balanced, you know, and that you are in a position that you get to enjoy life. And if you are, struggling with some ailment, then I think you're going to finally figure out how to solve it in a way that is not overwhelming or taking up all your time. It might take a little bit longer for you to get to the end goal, but it'll allow you to live your life in a more joyful way. So that's great. Okay, so Taurus, let's call on the angels and see what added guidance we have for Taurus. Okay, what added words of wisdom do you have for my Taurians? It's this one. Okay. Visualize success. Perfect. Yay. Okay. See yourself doing well in this situation and have faith in a positive outcome. So, let me read it to you one more time. See yourself doing well in this situation and have faith in a positive outcome, which is absolutely the truth. It's like everything ends in a positive outcome for you. It's like when we have the apprentice card, it means that you're working towards your goal, and you're going to, chances are, because of the work you're putting in, you're going to get it, and so many decisions to make. But in the end, I think because you are this page, it could, you'll end up a-okay. Like, as long as you're visualizing yourself in the position of positivity, joy, and light, I think it's all going to work out for you just fine. You're going to work through this kind of trifecta of people wanting you. You're going to come out smelling like roses. Now, I'm going to pull from the animal spirit knowledge cards for you, and so this is just kind of like your spirit animal, kind of just to see, your spirit guide, the energy of an animal. It's always interesting when I pull these. People always say that after I pull it, they recognize that animal showing up more in their day-to-day life, just like on the television, at a store, in a book, just somebody talking about it on the radio, podcast. Just all of a sudden, like, that animal is, protecting them in their day-to-day life. So if this happens for you, let me know. I'd love to hear your stories. Okay, there we go. And this is animal deities. Taurus, you're like all animals. This is divinity, guidance, and wisdom. So I'm just going to read a little bit of the back. It has a whole saying and history on the card, but I'm going to just do the abbreviated version of it. To many people around the globe, animals represent the first beings, the ancient ones, the all-knowing deities responsible for the creation of all things and the source of strength and guidance in times of trouble or need. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, so, it revolves around fertility, nature, dancing with the soul. Yeah, so this is your connection is to all creatures, and so that I think is even more important for you to visualize success, is because animals, all creatures are looking towards you, Taurus, to get it, to figure it out, because we need you. We need you, and that's what the spirit was saying at the beginning, is we need you. We need you to guide and to lead and become our healers and our lovers, and raise our spirits. So Taurus, it's a large job, but if anyone, you will do it with beauty and vigor. So thank you.